Hello guys, my name is Uzma. We are going to discuss the topic of security tool in information security. As we can see in this slide, the SQL Map Tool is our tool for security. So the team information as follows. My name is Uzma. My PR number is 1853005. Second member is Vaidehi Parekh. The third member is Priyanka Chaugule. And the other member is Sharyu Karne. So we are guided by the Professor Thorat sir from the class TYCSC. So here we can see in the very first slide, that is, why do we need information security? As we can see here, we need information security to reduce the risk of unauthorized information access, use, disclosure and disruptions. We need information security to reduce risk to a level that is acceptable to the business, a kind of management. We need information security to improve the way we do business. So the two-factor authentication, user permissions and firewalls are some of the ways we protect our private information from outside resources, or we can say outside organizations. So as defined by the National Institute of Standards and Technology, that is NIST, information security is the protection of information and information system from unauthorized access, use, disclosure, disruptions, modification or any kind of destructions. So due to widespread uses of technology, the clientele in need of protection from the security threats has been continuously growing. From the large global corporations to small startups, anyone's using technology to help run their business needs help avoiding security breaches. So, protecting the functionality of the organization, the decision maker in organization must set policy and operate their organization in compliance with the complex shifting legislations, efficient and capable applications. Second thing is enabling the safe operation of application. The organization is under immense pressure to acquire the operates integrated, efficient and capable applications. So the modern organization need to create an environment that safeguards applications using the organization IT systems, particularly those applications that serves as important element of the infrastructure of the organization. Second thing is protecting the data that the organization collect and use. Data in the organization can be in two forms, that are either in rest or in motions. The motion of the data signifies that data is currently used or processed by the system. The values of the data motivated the attacker to steal or corrupt the data. So this is essential for the integrity and the values of the organizational data. Information security ensures protection of both data in motion as well as data in the rest. So the last point is safeguard technology assets in organization. The organization must add intrastate services based on the size and scope of the organization. So as we can see, organizational growth could lead to the need of for public keys infrastructure, PKI and integrated system of the software encryption methodologies. So the information security mechanism used by the large organization is complex in comparison to small organization. So the small organization generally prefers symmetric key encryption of data. Thank you. My part is done. My other part is explained by my colleague. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Sharayu Karne and I'm going to explain what is this SQL Map tool and how it works. SQL Map is a Python based tool, which means it will usually run on any system with Python. However, we like Linux and specifically Ubuntu. It simply makes it easy to get stuff done, as Python is already installed in Ubuntu. This is the same tool we can use on our online SQL injection test site. To get started with SQL Map, it is a matter of downloading the tool, unpacking it, and running the command with the necessary options. As there may be Windows users amongst you, I will first start with how to get an Ubuntu install up and running. It is easy to get started on an Ubuntu Linux systems, even if the thought of Linux sends shivering spasms of fear. Who knows, you may even like it. Now let's get started. So before we get into how to use SQL Map to test a website for SQL injection vulnerability, let's see what is SQL injection first. SQL injection is a code injection technique where an attacker executes malicious SQL queries that control a web application's database. With the right set of queries, a user can gain access to information stored in databases. Now the tool SQL Map tests whether a get parameter is vulnerable to SQL injection. Let me explain this with an example. How to use SQL Map to test website for SQL injection vulnerability. Let's see this with an example. If you observe a web URL that is of the form http testphp.vulnweb.com /listproducts.php CAT equal to 1, where the get parameter is in bold, then the website may be vulnerable to this mode of SQL injection, and an attacker may be able to gain access to information in the database. Furthermore, SQL Map works when it is PHP based. So we can run a simple test to check whether your website is vulnerable would be to replace the value to the get request parameter with an asterisk sign. For example, instead of CAT equal to 1, we can replace it with an asterisk. If this results in an error such as the error given above, then we can conclusively say that the website is vulnerable.
Hello everyone, this is Priyanka Chowgule and I am here to present the advantages of SQL Map tool. So as we all know, SQL Map is an open source penetration testing tool that automates the process of detecting and exploiting SQL injection flaws and taking over of database server. It also comes with a powerful detection engine and many features for the ultimate penetration tester and a broad range of switches lasting from database fingerprinting over data fetching from the database to accessing the underlying file system and executing commands to the operating system via out of band connection. So it is also capable to perform an extensive database management system backend fingerprint, retrieve remote databases, usernames, tables, columns, enumerate entire DBMS, and it can also read system files and much more, taking advantage of web application programming security flaws that lead to SQL injection vulnerabilities. It has many features like full support for MySQL, Oracle, and Microsoft SQL Server. It full support for 6 SQL injection techniques, and it also supports to directly connect to the database without passing via a SQL injection by providing DBMS credential, IP address, port and database name. It also supports to enumerate users, password hashes, privileges, roles, database, tables and columns. Then automatic recognition of password hash formats and support for cracking them using a dictionary based attack. So it also supports to dump database tables entirely, a range of entries or specific columns as per user's choice. The users can also choose to dump only a range of characters from each column's entry. And it also supports to search for specific database names, specific tables across all database, or specific columns across all database tables. This is useful, for instance, to identify table containing custom application credential where relevant column name containing string like name and passwords, etc. It also supports to download and upload any file from the database server underlying file system when the database software is MySQL or Microsoft SQL Server. It also supports to execute arbitrary commands and retrieve their standard output on the database server underlying operating system when the database software is MySQL and Microsoft SQL Server. It also supports to establish an out of band stateful TCP connection between the attacker machine and the database server underlying operating system. So these are some of the features of SQL tool. So here are the files we downloaded from the Google to install the SQL Map tool, and these are some snapshots while installing the tool. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Vaidhi Parekh and I'm here show how to install SQL Map. Firstly, open Mozilla Firefox, then we have to search sqlmap.org, then we click here, then we see this is a zip file which we have to download, and one another thing is important, that is install Python in your system. I have already installed this both. Then we have to extract this. After extracting, we have open and rename this file with SQL map. Then we have to open directory C and move this file to C directory. After open command prompt and run some queries. cd SQL map. And here SQL map is ready to crack the database. Thank you.